Thursday night footy. Just a reminder of how shit Carlton really are and how easy meat they're going to be for Richmond once again. G'day everyone, welcome to Tigers of Old. Today we'll talk about what happened last night and also what happened yesterday in our probably final match sim where a lot of the players got involved and some didn't. But first of all, I thought what we'd do is touch on our injuries and then we can talk a little bit more about how that match sim unfolded. So it looks like Bolter is back, which is great. For me, I'd like to see him in the ruck, but it looks like he's going to take his place at centre-half back. And it looks like Vlosten is back as well. And look, if those two end up in our defence, then all good for us. The thing is, Carlton have got a small forward line, maybe with a ruckman resting forward from time to time. So I don't know how we're going to get Gibcus, Miller, Bolter, Vlosten, Broad down there in the back. One of them will play on Kemp, one will play on Mackay, and one of them will have to take the resting ruckman or not be on the ground. You can't have those four probably taller players on the field at the same time up against the little guys that Carlton are playing. I don't think Prestia will be back. He played a fairly large role in the match sim training, not so much in the match sim itself, but he looked to be moving pretty well. I've got a feeling they're going to rest him for at least one more week and just make sure he's well and truly over his injuries. And that's okay because we know that with Prestia, in round one, things generally go pretty badly for him. It's a bad omen if Prestia plays in round one. Oliver Hayes-Brown, not quite back, probably a couple of weeks ago, which is a pity. And then the rest are all long-term injuries. So they are Samson Ryan, Taj Houghton, Tom Sims, Sam Cumming, which I reckon will probably turn into surgery and end up being more like 8 to 10 weeks than 4, but let's hope not. Juddy Clark and Josh Smiley, another quad. Can you believe it? At least he's extended his contract to the end of 2027, which means that we should get to see him play for Richmond at some point. My recommendation is wrap him in cotton wool, send him off for the rest of the year to be in a good paddock and come back next year fit and firing. There's really no point going through this whole, is he fit, isn't he fit, can he kick, why can't he kick, he's done another quad, put him back out. It's just a waste of time. Just send him off. Let him get really well, and we'll see him in 2027. And that'll be good because it'll be like a brand new high-pick recruit, and that will complement whoever we take. I'm thinking it'd probably be Zach Butters. That'd be awesome. Or Ben King or Kieran Briggs. He's out of contract. Wouldn't mind him. Or maybe we'll wind the clock back and go for Ivan Soldo. That'd be all right, eh? So watch a bit of Ivan run around for us again. So while I chat about the match sim, we'll show the footage of what happened in the match sim, and I'll talk over the top of it. First thing I observed is that the team in the white vests put up a much better show than Carlton did in the third quarter last night. What a joke Carlton were. If we get that Carlton next week, that's going to be a lot of fun for us Tiger supporters. I reckon as long as we're within 4 or 5 goals at half time, look out Carlton, we'll be coming right over the top of you. So what did we learn from the training video? It was great to see our forwards using a drill where they run back toward the goal and then hook back toward the kicker. I really like that. I watched Mansell do it a few times, watched Lawler do it a few times, watched Lynch do it on occasion. I reckon that might be a little bit of Luke Bruce magic just working in there, but it's something we really missed last year, having a forward leading back toward the ball kicker. Campbell Gray was in the ruck all day against Nank. Dare I say it, he won more than his fair share. He should not win any tap-outs against Nank, but he did. Nah, neither of them really hit anything to advantage. No taps over the back or over the top. Nothing like that. With Carlton running 2 proper rucks, we're just going to have to ruck to them. Pitney and Reedy will towel our 2 ruckmen up, I'm reckoning, in the first round. And until we've got our head around what this new ruck rule looks like, we're just going to have to ruck to the opposition. There was a really interesting handball drill, waiting for pressure to come, drawing in the opposition before they release the ball into space rather than taking the first option. Problem is, obviously, the heat that comes from real opposition is a lot hotter than what was on display in that training session. So thank God we have got the Blues in round 1. Their pressure refused to come out after half time, so we should be all right with that game plan against that rabble. So who from those who could have been considered on the fringe leading into round 1 have impressed enough in pre-season to demand a round 1 spot? I think Kane McCullough's done enough. He'll line up on a wing and also help out in the midfield. He looks like he's come a fair way over pre-season. If he can stay fit, he's another one who suffers quads. But if he can stay fit, then that will pay big dividends for our footy club. Maurice Rowley Jr. did enough as well to show that he'll be there in round one. He didn't play in the game against Essendon. He only got a half against Melbourne, but he just showed against Melbourne he's got that zip and awareness and pressure, especially through tackling and chasing, that we really missed in that Essendon game. And with us playing 3 or maybe even 4 talls against the Blues, we were going to need all the help we can get on the ground from pressure players. Sam Grill's done enough running out of hard-back. He looked like he was able to run around everybody, made most of the Essendon and Melbourne players look like witches' hats at times. He looked really, really good. So he'll get a run. And I think Tyler Sonsi will start on the other wing and also help out in the midfield. I think he's probably done enough to kickstart the season in round 1, which I wouldn't have said, to be honest, 3 or 4 weeks ago. So then there'll be the players that are fighting for the same spot. So I'll just run through some pairs and see whether you agree. Tom Brown and Luke Traynor, I think, are playing for the same spot on the team. Got a feeling Tom Brown's just got his nose ahead, but if you looked at the match sim, then maybe that's actually Luke Traynor. He played a fairly big role off the halfback line in that match sim. I think Ralph Smith and Tiges will also be fighting out for a spot, whether that be on the wing or on the bench. Don't think we'll play both of them. I like Tiges. I think he offers us something a little bit different. He defends really well. He uses the ball well. He's another left footer. But Hugo Ralph Smith has had dibs on that position now for a couple of years. He's quick. His ball use isn't great. He's got courage to burn, so he may well get the nod. I think Jaden Short and Sam Banks, I can't see both of them lining up in our back line. I think one of them will, and one of them might either have to play somewhere else or maybe miss out. I think Jaden Short will get the nod just on the basis that Sam Banks hasn't had a full pre-season. He may well get a run in the reserves in round 1, or they'll both play one of them off the bench. Let's just see what happens there. Harry Armstrong, Jonty Fall or Campbell Gray will take 2 of the 3 spots in the forward line to line up against Tom Lynch. Maybe all 3 of them will play. Looks like Campbell Gray is going to ruck. Looks like they've been training him hard on that. So maybe it's out of Fall and Armstrong. Armstrong was pretty good in the match sim. Fall still not quite right after the concussion, so maybe he's rested for round 1. And then I would reckon Gray will probably come out and Lafau will come back in for round 2 and Fall might come back in then as well. But Carlton do a lot of setup from their back half, and it would be very, very dangerous for us to take Lynch, Armstrong, Fall and Gray into the match. That will give us far less defensive capability and less run in our forward line. So let me know what your thoughts are. So we'll catch up again after the long weekend, which it is in Melbourne, and we'll talk about the match sim that will probably take place over this coming weekend and narrow our round 1 team down just a little bit more. Thank God we've got Carlton to sort it all out. They're going to be one of the easier teams to beat this year. Either that or Sydney are miles ahead of everybody else in the league. Really hard to work out, but we'll wait and see. Thanks for joining me. Talk to you next week.